Hello everyone, Zerkalda here again with another video, and in this time we'll be doing a follow-up to a previous father and son project where we listened to video game soundtracks. With me, like last time, is my dad here.
Good evening, everyone. I'm looking forward to sharing this with you.
So this time, instead of video games, I'm going to introduce my dad to some music from a couple of anime. You, like video games, don't have any experience with anime.
Not really.
Right. So the three anime I chose for their soundtracks, and we'll be alternating off the soundtracks, so they don't get too samey, are from a series called Naruto, a manga adapted to a few anime movies called Berserk, and the Fate Stay Night series. These soundtracks are from various points of the show, and as we go through them, I'll explain to my dad the context behind the tracks, and then we'll listen to them. As the previous time with the video games, I will pause the recording session to allow us to listen to the soundtrack. We will not be able to hear it to avoid any potential copyright disputes. But I encourage you to pull up these soundtracks on your own so you can also listen to them, as you can see them here very much on the screen. So this first track is called the Akatsuki. It's from the series Naruto. Akatsuki translates to red cloud, like a blood cloud. And the track is a villain track. It is the theme tune to an organization called the Akatsuki. These are a group of extremely powerful ninjas who are essentially terrorists. And their goal is they are trying to track down and capture these things called tailed beasts, which are giant monsters of incredible power. There's almost, I don't know for certain if this was intentional, but there's almost like a nuclear weapon allegory to these creatures. And whoever controls them can essentially destroy an entire city.
Okay.
So again, there's a very strong nuclear weapon allegory to this.
Okay.
So I'm going to pause the video. Okay, so that was the Akatsuki theme tune. So what do you think of that, hearing it?
Okay, so I thought the beginning was really interesting, kind of building strongly volume and movement and emotions. And then it kind of started averaging out, if you will, and kind of building momentum slowly. But in a way, I kept waiting for something to happen, and it didn't. Right, even at the end, it started coming on a little stronger, but I felt like we weren't getting anywhere.
Yeah, so it's interesting how when this track is played, it's always played when they're introducing the characters. It's never, and the track is almost never played in its full context. It's almost clipped into different modes, and that's because of the nature of, you have a TV series, so you need the music to be applicable to multiple times. Whereas with a movie, it's like, okay, you need music for this one scene. So, yeah, I remember the first time I was watching this series, and I heard that choir section from the opening the very first time. I was like, what am I listening to? Whoa. That caught your attention right away.
For sure.
And then, yeah, like I said, I'd agree. The opening is definitely the strongest note, because once it's hooked you on, you're on board for the rest of it.
But you're waiting for more.
You're waiting,
or
for
you're
more.
wanting for more.
And all the Naruto music is done by the same composer, whose name is right there. I can't pronounce that. I butcher it for sure.
Takanashi.
There you go. He's all these composers are very highly revered in Japan and internationally as well.
Okay.
So that was that track. The next one is The 100 Years' War. This is from a series of animated movies which are based on the title series Berserk. Berserk, to give you some context, is essentially the godfather of dark anime. It's a very dark medieval story set in a medieval-esque world, where this story arc is the Golden Age arc. Essentially, we follow the character known as Guts, who is a member of a mercenary troop called the Band of the Hawk. They're in the middle of a conflict between a Tudor Empire and another kingdom that they're serving that's been going on for 100 years. And the thing with the Band of Hawk is they're all common, low-born people, But the war, through their leader, Griffith, who is an extremely charismatic figure, is presenting them social opportunities for climbing the ladder. And these tracks represent the various pieces of the war. This is the song that just gets you invested in what's going on. So this is like the opening track. Okay, and I will then pause the recording again. So that was 100 Years' War, the opening track. That's, again, it introduces you to the setting of what's going on, and that's very much reflected in the lyrics that are being sung, which are in English. So it's going over how out of the skies and from over the waters they come to bring slaughter to all mankind, where they're talking about these marauding armies who are coming from all directions upon this kingdom. And the manga and anime, they do not hold back on showing the absolute brutality of medieval warfare and all the grimness that would come with that. Again, this is a dark fantasy. It does not hold back on showing on how messy the situations were. And at the same time, as I said, lyrics also reflect the opportunity that's being presented, how Hawk will rise and conquer, Tudor indecision presents new opportunity. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So what do you think of the song?
First of all, I would not have been able to decipher
Mm-hmm.
the English,
Mm-hmm.
and I could barely tell that it was English.
Mm-hmm.
So that would have been lost on me.
It's a Japanese creators doing English lyrics, which
No,
is
but
weird.
I think the kind of singing that's being done, it's very difficult in that kind of singing to make out the words, because it's so strong, it's melodic, it's fast, kept going faster and faster, and you couldn't make out the words. So I'm just like, okay, whatever they're singing about, there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of movement, there's building momentum, and it never let up, right? It accelerated, and it kind of slowed the acceleration, but it was still just go, go, go.
Right.
I mean, that's what I got out of it. It never stops. You just
it's
drown in that momentum.
It's war. That's a very good reflection of how war is. There's no time to even think about what's going on.
Yeah, it was just energy.
Yeah.
Nonstop.
The percussion was also interesting to me. It's very metallic, which I've never heard someone do that very much. I think this is going to be insulting to the creator, but I almost think of like something where like someone's like doing like one of those metal rubbers where they're running it up and down. That's almost it's like you said, a very high energy.
Yeah, they don't. After a while, it almost gets too much. Where you go, okay, let it stop now, because my brain wants to shut down.
Yeah. So the next track is also from Naruto. This is called Many Nights, but it's more commonly known as Itachi's theme.
Okay.
The character Itachi is a character who's very gray. He's both black and white. He carries a lot of guilt because he was part of putting down his own clan that was attempting to start a coup against the village that he lived in. So he participated in putting it down, and for this he was branded an outlaw. So, but he does have his human moments, especially coming through with his relationship with his younger brother, who's pretty much his moral grounding.
Okay.
So this is Itachi's theme. I'm going to pause the recording. So that was Many Nights, or Itachi's theme. What do you think of that one?
I liked it a lot.
Make sure you're talking to the...
So I think there was some sadness to it. There was emotions. And I thought it was well done. I liked the piece a lot. It's kind of resonated with me. You can kind of understand the mood that the composer was trying to create in reflection. And so, yeah, I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, it's a very, like you said, there's a sadness to it, but there's also a certain tranquility at the same time, which...
Yeah, exactly.
Like as I said, with how Itachi's character is written, that very much reflects who he is. The sorrow that he feels, but also the peace he's made with it. The next track is for the first one from the Fate series. This is a battle track called Souls to Fight, and the Fate series, for context, is built around the idea of 7 people summoning 7 figures from real mythology and also from real history who go into a full-on duking it out, and the last 2 standing, the master and servant, get the chance to wish upon the Holy Grail, which will grant whatever their heart desires.
Okay.
So this is a battle theme where you have these figures of legend going at it all out. I'll pause the recording there. So that's Souls to Fight, the first battle theme from the Fate franchise that you've heard.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think of that one?
It was okay. I struggled with it a little bit. I was kind of waiting for more. And so, yeah, it was not one of my favorites, I gotta be honest. Out of all of them, I think this one, I kind of get the drabness in a way, just kind of, kind of waiting for something to happen. And then it changed the tempo up a little bit. But yeah, this one I had a more difficult time with.
To me, it's no offense to the composer, but it reminded me a little bit of Hans Zimmer too much, because Hans Zimmer is known for doing the boing, those heavy orchestrations, and that's what this track really used a lot.
Yeah.
Because you could hear like the boing.
Yeah, that's.
Which is fine, but it's a sound I've heard, and I agree. It isn't the strongest one I've ever heard, but it's something mostly because for me it's because I've heard it other times.
So you know, right? Yeah.
So I know it. So it's not a unique sound to me. Okay, the next track is also from Berserk. Going back to Berserk, it's called My Brother. This is a personal theme that's also a combat theme, but it's related to 2 very specific characters. It's related to Guts, the main character, and Griffith, who is Guts' leader and idol at the same time. And Griffith, as the leader of the Band of the Hawk, is encouraging Guts, who he's only just recruited, to join him in this conflict, that it will give Guts purpose, because Guts has wandered through life without really knowing what he's for, what is the meaning of this point, because he's seeing so much destruction and conflict already.
Okay.
So this song is essentially an anthem for the 2 of them. So I'm going to pause the recording here so we can listen to it. So that was My Brother. So what do you think of that one?
I liked it. I think I felt the beginning was kind of a building up to a crescendo, right? To either making a decision or going to war, or participating.
It had that martial like ba-da-dum-bum.
Yeah.
It even sounded like those typical military drums you'd see.
Exactly, right.
Like I said, this is the anthem of Griffith asking Guts to join him.
Right.
Go ahead.
And then when it slowed down was kind of when I felt that's when the decision was taking place, where he was thinking about and or persuading himself to join in the purpose of fighting, with his brother.
Yeah, it's interesting that it's called My Brother, because the way Griffith behaves and interacts with his men, none of them are his equal. There is no one in this group who is on his level. He would never call anyone else his brother. The only one who elicits that kind of emotion is Guts, the main character. And so it's very personal, because Guts is someone on Griffith's level if only Guts could find his purpose. And in Griffith, through his cause and joining him in battle, like you said, once he makes that decision, he's found himself.
Right. Okay. Very good.
Okay, the next track is going back to Naruto, and it's a track called The Scarlet Letter. The track is referring to the main character of Naruto, who is called Naruto.
Wow, that was a tough one. I had to think really hard on this one.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. You got me.
So earlier I mentioned how the Akatsuki organization, their purpose is find these things called the tailed beasts, which are essentially the nuclear bombs of this world.
Right.
Naruto is one of 10 people who is bonded physically and spiritually to these beasts. His body is essentially the beast cage. So if Naruto were to die, or it were to be ripped from him, this monster would be unleashed on the world and could destroy an entire city without breaking a sweat. In intense moments of rage, this can be activated, and this is a moment. This track plays when when he feels that rage and he's unleashing this godly power.
All right, let's hear it.
So here we go. I'll pause the recording. So that was the Scarlet Letter. So what do you think of that track?
So I thought the beginning was interesting. It had energy. It kept building on the energy, kept getting louder and more stronger. And so in the beginning, I couldn't really associate the story with the music. But as it got louder, you kind of figured that's when the beast was starting to develop and get more rambunctious, right?
It's taking over.
Right.
And you could hear that because once it got further, especially that high wind instrument, it started going crazy. Like the whole song started losing any sense of rhythm or identity. It's just getting subsumed in absolute chaos.
Right. Yeah, you could definitely tell. Yeah, it was well done.
Yeah, it's a good story character track. The next one is Blood and Guts Passionate from Berserk. This is Blood and Guts' main theme song, and this is the passionate. This is when he's feeling his most intimate, whether it's with a woman he loves or whether he's having a moment of contemplation. So this is, again, the passionate one. So that was Blood and Guts Passionate. What do you think of that one?
I thought it was a little different. Certainly I was trying to figure out what the composer was trying to express, because it sounded like guitars or string instruments.
It is a Spanish guitar you're hearing.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, so how does that tie in with the story? So I had some difficulties with that, understanding that, and then it changed completely, or it seemed to change completely.
Yeah.
It's like it was trying to express something, but I wasn't sure what that was.
Yeah. It starts off very intimate, then it goes into more intense energy when the emotion is running hot, and then it calmed down again, back to a focus. And the guitar though was all the way through, no matter what was going on. Like I said, this is the Guts' emotional theme. And it, again, because of the nature of how anime work, the sections are often played based on what's going on.
Okay.
So there's an intensity to the passion, which is the middle section, but then you have the calmer moments before that. And again, the Spanish guitar that's an instrument that's very much associated with romantic things or emotional. But yeah, it's not something I would have expected to hear ever. Especially because it's a Japanese composer.
Exactly. It was like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah. You think, oh, you're going to hear Japanese instruments, but no, they do everything. The next track is also from the Fate series. This is called Fate to Zero. This is the personal battle theme of King Arthur, who is one of the central figures and the most popular character in the whole franchise. So here we go, Fate to Zero. Pausing there. So that was Fate to Zero, the battle theme for King Arthur. What do you think of that one?
Okay, that was a lot of energy. It just seemed to maximize the energy volume, right? All across, there was no letdown. In a way, it almost felt exhausting after a while. Because it was just like, okay, there was no balance, and it just.
Yeah, the the fights in this show are huge spectacles, and I described King Arthur fighting, but it's just as much of swordsmanship in this as it is hucking laser beams and stuff around, the typical kind of anime stuff, where they really go all out. And the theme is very high energy, but it also feels very heroic at the same time.
Okay.
The choir, to me, it's because of how it's conducted in the female choir instead of the male, like we hear in Berserk. There's something uplifting to it. It's very much trying to encourage and keep your energy up. But yeah, the battles are huge spectacles in anime, so they go all out.
Okay, that's fine. All right.
The next track is back for Naruto, and this one is titled Despair. This is a track that has played a few times for different characters, but it's very much when they're feeling emotionally low. So the title is pretty self-evident. Okay, so here we go. Despair. That was Despair from Naruto.
So I really like this piece. It had a lot of emotion, right? Beautiful music. You know, it was like almost like a sitar, right? Along with the violin, it created a lot of mood setting and a lot of emotions for me. So yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, the music in Naruto, when it really shines to me is when it starts trying to go for those emotional beats. The composer, like, fantastic job. This with the Itachi theme, the Many Nights that we heard. This is one I feel like it's almost very traditional. Like, it's what I would expect from Japanese or Chinese.
Right.
Like, if I was listening to like a theater production from there, this was what I would hear. So it leads into that. So final 3 tracks. How are we feeling?
Feeling good. This last piece was real nice.
So this next one is the last one from Berserk, and this is called Dragon Slayer. So this is a familiar piece. The rhythm is the same as My Brother, but it's been very much given even more energy because in this moment, Guts is fighting a dragon, hence the name Dragon Slayer. There's a lot more to it, but I'm being as simple as possible not to overload you. So here we go. Going to pause it here. That was the Dragon Slayer.
Okay, so I gotta say I liked heavy metal guitars and organ. That was a great combo. I hadn't really heard it before in that way, so I thought that really sounded great.
I'll say this: anime music, when with how much I've experienced with it, there's so much experimentation in it. They in Japan, these composers, they combine things I would never think of hearing together, and a lot of times it works incredibly. Like you said, that's organ and with heavy metal and choir.
Yeah. Very cool though. It sounded really good.
And I thought it was perfect because again, you're trying to fight a dragon to this, and you're
bringing it on.
Yeah, you bring it on, which is perfect for Guts because he's the guy who will kill a dragon, no problem.
Okay, good. All right.
So the next theme, the second to last theme we've got is Ritual from Naruto. This is the theme tune to a specific character who is called Pain. He's the leader of the Akatsuki organization, and his name is literally his entire identity, Pain. That's his name. To give a brief summation of his backstory, he grew up as a war orphan in the middle of a third Great World War. His entire life has been tragedy, but at the same time, he's gifted with a prodigious power that essentially puts him on the level of a god in this universe. And his philosophy in life is that through the Akatsuki and capturing the 10-tailed beast, they can simultaneously unleash them on major locations, and essentially they will terrify the world into ceasing all conflict. Because once the people have experienced that level of destruction, no one will ever want to wage war again. Essentially, what people said about the Second World War, or even the First World War, was that we've experienced so much, no one's going to want to do this again. Until they do. Again, there's a lot of applicability to this. Okay. So this is Pain's theme. That was the theme of Pain.
So it was, I felt it was a good piece. I get, for me, the pain didn't come through that much.
Right.
I felt there was a repetitive theme in there to build up kind of momentum, energy. So I liked the way it came together. But I guess pain to me sounds a little different.
Right. The emphasis isn't so much on the personal emotion of pain, so much it is the godly feeling that you're supposed to feel in his presence. The aura, essentially, that once he walks on screen, you're drawn to him. And this theme tune tells you this is someone of a higher, this is a higher level. This is a higher being. Because, again, that's how Pain views himself. He is despite him being named Pain, he sees himself as above it. And he sees himself as the one who is allowed to dish it out, essentially.
Okay. So you have an advantage there because you've seen it. Mm-hmm. So I'm just listening to the music.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, same. I like listening to this music on its own too. Mm-hmm. This is the final track of the video, and this is called "She Rules the Battlefield," also from the Fate franchise.
Okay.
So this is obviously a battle theme. So that was "And She Rules the Battlefield." I'm gonna give you context before you get your thoughts, okay? So the big twist of this Fate series is that King Arthur, the main character, is a female, actually. You noticed that on the Fate Zero portrait. You commented on that actually to me. Mm-hmm. So that's why, because in this universe, King Arthur was actually a woman, although in disguise the whole time. Mm-hmm. In this track, King Arthur has been taken by the Holy Grail, which is actually revealed to be a demonic entity, masquerading as something holy, and it has corrupted her. So our heroes are now forced to fight the person who is supposed to be their champion, essentially. Mm-hmm. Okay. And she rules the battlefield. Hence the name.
Good. I liked it. There was a lot of energy. Mm-hmm. You can imagine the battlefield, action going on. Mm-hmm. And it sounded feminine at the same time, right? Mm-hmm. So you kind of got that connection that it was a she that was running things. And well, you have this anime photo here. Yeah. So that kind of tells a story as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked it.
So yeah, that was your first dive into anime music overall.
Yeah, it was very, very cool. A lot of different varieties. Mm-hmm. And I think it's pretty exciting. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the future, we can even go into more depth with more diversified. Okay. I chose 3 more common anime soundtracks to just get you into it, so you have some baseline to work with.
Yeah, it's all new to me, but it's interesting and creative. And I think that's the key, right? It's innovative.
I love Japanese music, anime music. I wish here in our West we had shows that would produce soundtracks more like this, where they experimented more with the music.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe that would be in the future.
Maybe in the future. Yeah. I mean, anime is becoming much more popular now than ever, so we might see more of it.
Okay. Great.
Mm-hmm. It's good to have you on for this video again.
Thank you for having me, and until next time.
Yep. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want, you can also leave your own thoughts on these tracks. What did you think of them? Feel free to let us know in the comments, and if you have any suggestions for more music I should subject my dad to, let us know. Thanks, and have a good night, everyone.